came about when I was really missing Texas. I was living in New Jersey, working in New York. It was during that time. And learning how to write in a different way. I learned a lot of different styles, a lot of ways to write while I was up there. And I felt so distant from how I taught myself how to write, which is basically just write about what you know rather than try to guess about how someone lives in Vermont. You know, it was so far from what I was familiar with, and Home came about in a dream. It was one of those songs that was finished. All I had to do was, I always keep a pen and pad next to my bed, and I just rolled over and just wrote what was coming to me in and out of, just coming out of unconsciousness, and that's what happened. It was just one of those songs that I just happened to be there. And it's about growing up in Texas, small town Texas, and just missing the connection to people, which I was having a hard time feeling living in that area. A connection to music, a connection to song, and what that does for me. And this song does that. It's very visual, the song, and I can sing it anywhere and feel okay. When I can do that song, I plug right in to 6 Mile, right on the Brazos River. I plug right in. I'm there. I can feel it. I can smell it. Yeah.
Warm skies, the stars are listening. Country night sings her song. Fireflies light the distance, making me want to sing along. And I had it all right at home, and the memories calling me home. But your daddy's old Ford still sitting by the old pecan tree. She's got a lot of miles and there ain't much left but her class. Daddy's gone now, but it means a lot to me. Taking the rusty for a ride with the world gets too fast. And I had it all right at home. Yeah, and the memories calling me home. Yeah, I used to want so much in a hurry. They told me, girl, you're gonna go far. I've done a little traveling, got a whole lot of worry. And now it's on my mind all the time, and I dream about dusty small towns, old big families, cooling my memory like a summer rain. Cool well water and dewberry pie. The grass is a river running through my veins. Yeah, I had it all right at home. The memories come
Mm. I thought I heard Judge Thomas say 5 years on the chain gang. Take that man away. Oh, Captain, Captain, you must be blind. Take a look at your watch. Lord, ain't that quitting time? Well, Captain, Captain, how can it be that quitting whistle been blowing? You keep working me. Well, bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water now. Oh, bring me a little water, Sylvie. Every once and a while. Mm. Well, I dreamt she asked me in her parlor, Lord, well, and she cooled me with her fan. Then she whispered to her mother, Mother, I love that dark-eyed man. Oh, Mother, I love, Lord, that dark-eyed man. Well, some people say doing time ain't bad. People, this time right here, worst a man ever had. I've got the blues, too damn mean to cry. When I get home, Lord, Lord, by and by. Oh, I know, Lord, what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna lose these chain gang blues, people. My chain gang holler, chain gang holler. Lord.
My first audience was in grammar school, and we had to memorize the Gettysburg Address and say it in class. And so when I got up there, honey, I wasn't Mr. Lincoln, but I said it with passion. And the kids clapped when I finished. Well, that might have sunk me right there. I like that. Well, I didn't come to the blues directly. I came to the blues via folk music. But then the blues is a part of what the folk tradition is. Okay. So when I came into this area of music and this community, I was mostly interested in prison work songs. Now, within the prison work songs, the hate, fear, trepidations, fury that I had as a person, I could get out through those work songs. And nobody knew where the work songs started and stopped and where I started and stopped. Because we couldn't, even now, we can't say, I hate this. I guess we could say it now better than back there in those 50s. But I hate me and I hate you and I hate what's happening and whatever. We didn't share such things. So I really worked through some dreadful feelings with the prison work songs. Now, around folk music, there were people who were interested in a lot of different areas of music. They didn't just hold this music over here and that music over there. One thing could sort of led into another, which is what folk music is. Okay. And earlier on, I was played Bessie Smith. And I heard a lot about Bessie Smith, and I finally heard her, and I thought, well, and then I heard Ma Rainey, and that, because I guess Ma Rainey wasn't talked up so much, because you know when you hear about something, you add your own imagination to it, like when you hear about Paris, and then you add your own imagination to it, and you get to Paris and it doesn't live up to Okay, well, so no one had tainted Ma Rainey with praise yet. I heard her, and that opened up the gates for me. And then I heard Bessie Smith doing "You Gotta Bring It With You When You Come," and that was like a key that opened the door for me. I didn't head for singing the blues because I can't play the blues guitar. And I knew of songs, of performers, and when it came up that we were looking for an idea for a record, and Mark Carpentieri, who was MC Records, suggested something, and then I thought, you know what I want to do? I want to do women of the 20s and 30s. And I had gotten pretty fed up with the prurient view of the blues, therefore the prurient view of us as a black community. We had other things on our mind outside of sex. Like we were being cheated and worked too hard and getting next to nothing, okay? So when I recorded the record, I wanted to put out there, so in the future people could hear songs that had to do with the rest of our lives as well. And that we had words, that we put words together that were other than, you know, anyway. But you see, now I have to blame the producers of records. Early on, the people who were interested in folk music and the blues were college students, you know, and you know, those were the guys you say a bad word and they were really grown. So they went for the double entendre songs, right? And that's what they projected. I hate to think what they left behind on the cutting room floor, right? Okay. So one of my feelings is that the music is a part of what the survival kit is. that humor is a part of the survival kit. Society's rich ones are taking your labor for next to nothing, your crossroads, right? And you can lie down and die or interject yourself into what this problem is that you're having at the time. And that is survival. It doesn't change anything. It helps you with your attitude towards whatever is going on. I forgot to tell you I talk a lot. I pretended with music. Yeah, I'm a great pretender. I'd sit at the piano and bang on the piano in Alabama. The family moved from Alabama. My sister was 3, I was 6. And I'd sit there and I'd bang on the piano until my aunt came up with a headache to stop me banging on that piano. Well, when in grammar school, at an age of, if it were in the book, it had to be true. And some historian told my class that we as slaves were happy and singing all the time. And it shamed me. Why in the world would we be happy to be slaves? I believed it though, because it couldn't be in the book if it weren't. So it's been this music that has really saved me. Like when going from Alabama to Los Angeles, we were in the train, my sister, my mother, and myself. And at a certain point, the conductor came back and said all the colored people had to move someplace else in the train. Okay, so you get the stereotypes of blacks in movies. And I was an embittered and angry child growing up. Something wasn't fair. And I'm still that child. I'm still looking for fair. It's not fair. I said, I don't know when I'll grow up, but I'm still looking for fair and working towards stuff being fair. No, I just stumbled on into it. No, this was in the 50s. There was no place except for each other's living rooms to try to tune our guitars together. That's where the expression, that's close enough for folk music came in. And we would sit around and we would sing songs and learn songs and harmonize and whatever. It was not a profession. We heard the Weavers on the radio, and every once in a while John Jacob Niles, but there were no venues. And then slowly by slowly, coffee houses started up, and then clubs started up. And so all of that was in the throes of becoming. We didn't know that and it was mighty good news that we'd be able to earn our living doing what we love doing. It is necessary for me to, you might need to take a page out of this book, to be by myself. One part of the ritual is putting on the face. All of this is letting go of whatever happened that day, such as 4 planes being canceled. So I'm with the face, I'm letting go of all of that, and I'm saying my prayers and my mantras, and really putting my blinders on, so when I hit, I'm ready to go. I don't have to sing 3 songs in order to gear myself up, because I'm ready by the time I hit. And I tell my fellow performers, even with the festivals, find a little corner to go in. We're so busy being excited and talking to each other. But just before you go on, find a little corner, say a prayer or a poem or something that you like, that just brings your attention all into what it is that you are about to do. And that way, you're way ahead. Years ago, remember when they had pop groups on television and they would lip sync their records? And something happened, and I was asked to do something, lip sync my record. Hardest thing in the world to do. Hardest thing in the world. You cannot do the same thing the same way all the time. Now, also, my performance tonight will be informed by my experiences today. My experiences of yesterday, when I actually had not a bad time waiting. I was people watching in the airport for 5 hours. And I really had a great time. So that informed last night's performance. But it's going to be another performance tonight. First of all, I couldn't do exactly the same. Wouldn't even know what I did last night, you know. So now one thing is that performers are some of the biggest gamblers going. No one really knows if somebody's going to like what you're doing. And we weren't brought up to feel whatever I do is what I need to do, therefore it is right. We weren't brought up like that. So when someone gets out there and performs, they really are gambling that is going to be successful or that somebody else likes what they're doing. I had little humor back there. I talked way too much. I mean, I should give information, but it shouldn't be a lecture. I was shyer than I am now. I was a scared kid. And people took that, what my stance was then, which was frightened. If you said boo, I'd turn around and start running, right? As arrogance. And there are a lot of people who think that from back there that I was arrogant and didn't give a damn about anything or anybody. It doesn't amaze me. But by the same token, I don't expect it. So I don't really know how to answer that question. I do know that I'm fortunate that I can keep doing what I love doing. I don't take it for granted. I have to continue to hone my axe. I have to find ways to not only entertain but inform. I don't take it for granted at all. And it is wondrous that after 50 some odd years, it's still working.